We've all seen someone with a banging body and thought, man, I would just love to get all up in them guts and collect some of their gut flora to then put inside my own gut so that I too can be a certified hottie. Just me? Well, after today's episode, you just might. The microbiome in our gut doesn't just determine a lot about our health. It can also mean the difference between a tight, toned body and a lifelong struggle against stubborn fat. But that's just where the power of poop begins. Today, we're talking about the miracle of fecal transplants, how it's done, and if you might be able to DIY your way to a healthier gut. That's what you're in for today on Impolite Society.
Oh, I just detest rude, unladylike young ladies.
I hope you don't mind me being a tad rude.
I myself am strange and unusual.
Don't be rude.
That is some weird, wild stuff.
Shocking, isn't it?
It's a scandal!
But it's provocative.
Please stop making me blush.
Welcome to Impolite Society. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Laura.
And it's summer, baby. And as they say, sun's out, bums out. And we've got our shorts on this summer. We are covering the same taboo topics you love, but in quick hit 30-ish minute episodes.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to.
And these short, snappy episodes are not the only new thing we have coming your way. One of our new features is we have a phone number that you can text us by clicking the link in the show notes. It's that easy, right?
Yeah, if you look at the show notes, you click send us your thoughts, and I want people to message us. It is completely anonymous. We can't see your number. We can't reply back via text. There's no name attached unless you give it. And it's just such an easy way to share your thoughts on the episode, what you agree with, what you disagree with, or what you want to add. If you want us to shout you out, put your name in there. But if not, that's perfectly fine too. Just tell us that you hear us. We cannot make it any easier for you people.
Like if you want to tell us we suck because we name checked a username on a specific fetish message board, let us know. Send us a text. Share those thoughts with us.
And tell us how much we're assholes. But, I mean, we tried.
We love to hear it. Also, there's something while we're telling you to do. I really want to reiterate this point of something not to do. Like, please. So whatever you do, do not go to YouTube. But, I mean, I guess some people probably are going to go to YouTube. If you find yourself on YouTube, against your better judgment, do not type in Impolite Society. And if for some reason you don't heed my warnings and you complete those 2 steps, don't you ever click on those new video episodes of Impolite Society, because then you'll see our faces and the magic is ruined. Who wants to see their podcasters? Nobody. Let us live in your heads. Or do see what we look like and then text us, I guess, your thoughts.
Hot or not? No.
No. Did we look like you expected? That kind of stuff. So you might think that we're trying out these shorter episodes so that we can slack off. But my friend, that is so wrong, because we're actually taking it easy so we can focus on our hot podcaster summer. And nothing pairs with those long days, warm, wild nights, and having a little bit too much fun with an adult in a diaper, right? Then maybe a couple rounds of antibiotics after the fact, just to keep you in fighting shape.
I mean, if antibiotics keeps you in fighting shape, then my kids are just living their best fucking life, because it is a constant stream of antibiotics over here, not for STDs. Just want to clarify.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say, whoo, interesting place to insert the child segue. You do got to watch out for those antibiotics, though, a bit, because sometimes if you take them, the fight is happening in your innards, and they can end up killing a lot of the good bacteria in your gut, leaving you susceptible to Clostridium difficile. And no, I did not just have an Irish stroke right there. That is the closest I can get to saying that word. And I watched a video no less than 15 times on how to say it. Clostridium. That's actually pretty close.
Is that C. diff where they talk about C. diff? That's what it is?
Yes, it is 100% C. diff. And this is what happens when your gut flora gets out of whack and you're left with the bad bacteria, and that can lead to all kinds of intense GI unpleasantness.
And we all know what that feels like. I mean, maybe we don't know what C. diff feels like, but you know, we've all had a taste of it. You just, I have to go to the bathroom.
It's that and then amped up just a smidge because it can be long-lasting and persistent. And this was the case for a woman named Catherine Duff. And girl was running out of options. She was suffering from recurring C. diff, leaving her struggling with crippling abdominal pains, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea for the better part of 6 years.
6 years, that's rough. But I bet she was looking pretty trim. I mean, you were talking about that Kylie Jenner tea for 6 years, baby.
Oh, yeah, but you know who also looks trim? Cancer patients. Is it worth it?
No.
So after all the standard treatments failed Catherine, her doctor was recommending that they actually remove part of her colon. They said, antibiotics messed you up. We threw more antibiotics at you to try to even the score. Just kidding, it's not working. Let me just remove part of your body.
I mean, again, I bet that'll take a few inches off your waistline. I'm just saying.
When you're desperate to lose ounces, like how much does a couple feet of my intestines weigh? Get them out. But not wanting to actually lose part of her body, like a sane person, Laura, unlike us insane people, Catherine threw one of history's greatest Hail Marys. So good old Kathy found an article about a doctor in Australia who was treating C. difficile in an unorthodox way. He was transferring samples of gut microbiomes from healthy individuals into the gut of individuals suffering from the disease, with success in people recovering. So after showing the article to her doctors, they found a way to make it happen. And the results were next to instant. Within 6 hours, Catherine was feeling normal again for the first time in 6 years. This treatment, she said, had really given her her life back.
And of course it's in Australia.
They're really open with going down under.
Clearly. In the most literal way possible.
And that is where the magic begins, because in the U.S., there's an estimated 500,000 people suffering from this bacteria imbalance every year, where 15 to 30,000 people are dying from it.
That's insane. 15 to 30,000 people a year from intestinal overgrowth of bacteria. That's just fucking wild. That is a ton of people. Is this a sign of kind of the antibiotic abuse in the U.S.? Like, is this more than other countries? Do we have any
I
insight on
didn't
that?
look. This is a summer shorts. There is not enough fabric to cover that piece of the equation.
Got it.
I mean, that's this whole episode. But I did have a friend in college whose dad was a doctor, an osteopath specifically, who were more focused on whole body treatments.
Yeah.
And he never let any of his kids take antibiotics.
Did they never have an ear infection? No, that's another question. Go on. Go ahead.
That's beyond the shorts. These shorts, we don't cover everything, right? This isn't the Pioneer Woman skirt episode. This is the shorts. So you might be thinking to yourself now, wow, this is really a wonderful treatment. How'd they come up with it? Like, wow, the marvels of modern medicine. Well, it's actually been around for centuries. While modern fecal transplants are about as old as Legos or Neil deGrasse Tyson.
So, like the 1960s?
I think it was 1958 or 59, so very close. Very
Got
close.
It. Okay.
But just for like a frame of reference on quite how long they've been around, the ideal itself is actually much older and can trace its roots back to the 4th century China, where a yellow soup was used to cure severe diarrhea and food poisoning. 3 guesses on what the secret ingredient was.
Why did they call it soup?
Because it was liquidy.
It's poop soup. Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
And I just want to also lodge a complaint to somebody that it's called yellow soup.
Yes.
Like, racist much?
No,
the Chinese yellow soup?
No, it's yellow because like when
Because of
you're
poop, I know.
Yeah, because when you have like severe diarrhea or like it's kind of yellowy, orangey, like it's not
But that was
brown,
the healthy
normal
person.
colored.
It was the
I guess
healthy
maybe
person's
if
soup.
I mean I've watched a lot of those color mixing videos. I find them
Yeah,
very relaxing.
it's just you water down poop. It's yellow.
Yeah.
Well, regardless where the name comes from, which is probably from the color of the poop that was mixed down to it, it does sound pretty off-putting. But that said, according to the lore, it has brought people back from the brink of death.
That doesn't seem right. How many people, especially back in the day, for dying from bacteria in the gut? I guess if you had somebody who was really good at fighting off gut bacteria, if you could take some of, I don't know. That's science beyond me, yo.
It got out of whack. I mean, people were shitting their brains out every day.
Yeah.
Every day. So I guess whatever this was cured that. So more power to them. Also more power to us, because luckily we don't have to drink fecal transplants anymore through a soup. We have much more modern and scientific ways of getting somebody else's gut flora up in ya, like shoving it up your ass.
That sounds pretty low tech to me. I mean, it's kind of decidedly old fashioned.
I mean, it seems like the most direct way, and that's because it is. And how it's done is they take a sample, a stool sample,
Appropriate.
quite literally, and they dilute it with saline. And then the saline is then taken up your rectum, and then that diluted poop is then sprayed through the colonoscope, which is where the whole process gets its name from. Fun fact that I learned. And it's spraying as it gets pulled back out, distributing the solution throughout your large intestine.
It's like a reverse car wash for your colon.
Yes.
It's like, brrr. Excuse me, would you like the diamond clean or the platinum clean? Please insert your credit card now.
Oh, when it comes to things with butts, we're swiping. We're swiping the card. We got a perfect place for it. And if you don't like the idea of a car wash happening in your ass, there's another method that's even more unpleasant, and that involves a tube being inserted through your nose, down your esophagus, into your stomach, into your small intestine, and then they pump the poop up and then down, 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 down into your gut that way.
That seems far more uncomfortable. I mean, an NG, a nasal gastric tube, is not an easy thing to place. I've seen it done. I'll stick with anal when it comes to the fecal transplants. Thank you.
Well, I don't know. Is that soup starting to look a little bit better now?
No! No, it's not!
Modern science, man, thing of beauty. They've made even more space age style method of getting poop inside of you, and that is the poo capsule. In spring 2023, the FDA approved the first pill form of a fecal microbiome product. And there's also the Open Biome Project, which is ramping up production of its fecal capsule created by MIT researchers. Now, this might be the easiest method of getting someone else's shit inside of you to swallow, if you can, in fact, bring yourself to swallow someone else's shit.
I mean, isn't that what we do all day? We just eat shit in the terms of, like, you know, your interpersonal relationships and all the shit you have to swallow in your day-to-day life. Why not for your own health?
Right. So you're telling me it's helpful, it can improve quality of life, if not save a life, right? Poop, it's a wonder drug. We've been sleeping on poop this whole time. But the real burning question here is, how can poop do more for me? Ask not what I can do for poop. What can poop do for me? And how can it make me hotter, right? Because as Laura and I were talking about drastic measures of cutting inches from our abdomens, like by cutting actual parts of our body out, we are both striving to get hot for Hot Podcaster Summer. And the gut might unlock the secret of having a hot bod. The gut is known as the second brain, with its microflora being found to play a part in nutrition, metabolism, physiology, and immune function. Through new research, which I'm not going to try to summarize because above me, I will synthesize what it's about, it has become evident that the gut microbiome is involved in signaling to other organs and areas of the body through a mechanism known as the gut-brain axis. So essentially, this 2023 study found that our unique gut flora can signal when we are full or hungry and even encourage us to eat specific foods.
This makes me think of like those spores that like make ants crazy and stuff. It's basically the sense of like our colon bacteria is sending signals to our body telling it what to feed it, right? Sugary foods and things like that, because everyone, even bacteria, fucking loves sugar. They're like, give me more sugar, give me more sugar, give me more sugar.
Yeah, these little tiny micro pieces of life are pulling our puppet strings because they like
simple carbohydrates.
Easy to digest.
Yep.
Yes. So they're driving us back to that snack closet pantry. Is that where people keep their food? I call it the old snack closet.
I like that better. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. I'm not going to say go to the pantry. I'm going to say, yeah, it's in the snack closet.
It's a closet for snacks. So next time you find yourself on your second bowl of snacks from the snack closet, blame the parasites in you.
They're not even parasites. They're just bacteria out of whack, right? It's a careful orchestra, and we've got a little too much of the strings going on.
Yeah, and that is grating. And knowing that these little strings can pull the strings for weight management, there's a lot of potential here, especially when you look at some of the animal studies around it. Now, the Hallmark study here, it demonstrates how much this microbiome that's going on inside of us can affect weight by inserting the fecal matter from 3 sets of twins into mice.
Are these twin mice or human mice?
Human mice or human twins?
Human twins. Okay, human twins. They're putting their poop into
mice. Yes,
got it.
The mice are all clones, so they are technically twins as well.
Yeah,
but these I think were 3 sets of twins. They were all women. Of the twin pairing, one was obese and the other was a healthy weight. So they inserted half the mice with the gut biome from the obese twin, and they did the other half with the gut biome from the healthy weight twin. And these mice were all the same, genetically the same, raised in the same bacteria-free cages. They even fed them the same diet and the same amount. And wouldn't you know, the mice that were given the gut biome from the obese twin ended up being obese and carrying more fat than the mice that received the gut bacteria from the thin twin. And as expected, not only did it affect weight, but the fat mice also had a less diverse community of microbes in their guts.
So calories in, calories out, right?
That's what they say.
These mice had the same calories, the same amounts, yet they had completely different results. And it feels like maybe some fitness influencers have been feeding us absolute BS for the last, however many years.
That is suspicious. It's almost like life isn't a concrete set of rules that you can follow.
Weird.
Like a computer or a recipe to make the same outcome every time. But somebody's got to be thin and tell us how to be thin. So thank you for gallantly serving humanity, fitness influencers.
Selling us lies.
You make us think that we too can be hot someday.
You give us
Please
hope.
give us
false hope.
Yeah,
we
give us
really
hope.
just need your poop.
Your poo, please give us your poo. And in case you thought that there's some extenuous factors going on here, they also found with these mice that when the gut bacteria of the thin mice made its way over to the obese mice, whether that was on purpose by the scientists or by the fact that the mice were living together and snacking on each other's dookies, they found the obese mice became a healthier weight with zero change to their diet.
That's a low-tech remedy right there. Hungry? Why, wait. Eat your skinny friend's poop.
And it seems pretty cut and dry based off this one experiment, right? So the next naturally thin, low appetite person you see, you just got to get their poo and you got to get it up in ya.
I don't know any, so we're going to have to crowdsource this shit.
Yeah,
and when I
text
say
us.
shit, I mean literally.
Shit.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, text us if you're a naturally thin person, and please send your shit to P.O. Box
We'll get one
6969
for
420. Fecal matter way. Okay. So we've talked a lot about these transplants and how helpful they are and how they do it. But the problem is these fancy pantsy modern clinics with all these modern methods, they don't do these transplants for weight loss yet. So while the research is compelling, and that's just one study of many more that are out there, modern medical practice has not caught up to it yet. And that's not saying it won't ever, because just a decade ago, getting a fecal transplant for any reason, for C. diff, wasn't common. And that was the exact problem that our friend from earlier, Catherine, was facing as she desperately tried to save her colon. Unfortunately for her, her story was taking place in 2012, and that was before this procedure became quote-unquote mainstream enough for people to do it. So she had the new procedure. She had a willing volunteer donor in her husband, and she had all this promising research backing up the idea, but none of her doctors would perform it. And she went to 3 different doctors asking for them to do it for her. So what is she to do? She DIY'd it, baby. The at-home fecal matter transplant. Godspeed, my girl.
It can't be that hard, right?
Oh, no. It was very possible to do at home. So the one step she did involve medical professionals in was having a lab approve her husband's poo, make sure it's healthy enough.
No parasites and yeah.
Yeah. But once he got the thumbs up, it was the donor himself who ended up giving that fateful blast to get the donation where it needed to go. So her husband took a blender and an over-the-counter enema kit and was able to lovingly transfer some of his healthy gut biome into his wife on the bed that the pair shared.
First of all, this might be a new porn genre. Second, Catherine is a fucking pioneer. I love Catherine. She took her health into her own hands. She didn't rely on the commonly practiced wisdom. These doctors telling her, oh, no, I can't do that. She did her own research. She made it happen. Fortune favors the brave, ladies and gentlemen. Catherine, we love you. And you know, also, she's going to end up in medical textbooks for decades. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, patron saint of the colon, St. Catherine.
Oh, not only is she in the medical textbooks, she has made this her career. If you look up Catherine Duff, her LinkedIn, she is some member of the fecal transplant something or another. She is their champion out there.
Awesome.
That's really taking life's shit and putting it in you and leveraging a career out of it.
Truly.
So I know everybody's itching. Laura, you number one. Itching to get out there and get your own at-home enema kit. But could there be an even easier way to get the coveted bacteria that we want? A way that could potentially also take place in a bedroom? You know what I'm saying. Think about it for a second. Is there a way to get somebody's fecal matter into your tract?
I think that I do, and I don't like where you're going with this. But is this a situation of ass to mouth or analingus? Is that where you're taking it?
Analingus. Yeah, we're talking about
Okay.
eating ass. So the next time you see a hot person, can you just be like, yo, can I munch on that sweet behind a little bit so I can get hot too? Is it possible to orally take in bacteria through this sexual act? That's all the craze nowadays. These kids, I see it online. And then
Where do you see it online? No, don't answer that. Go ahead.
everybody's making jokes about it, and apparently it's very common now. Everybody's all about it. Everybody wants their tongue punched their fart boxes, and that's just the way of the world now, thanks to the internet. But I'm saying, is it possible to do that and get someone with better gut bacteria to come on over, jump ship, and colonize your greedy little bum? I know, you're speechless after that.
I truly am. After that.
Well, the
Done.
odds, let's just say, the odds are not in those little explorers' favors. Because if they were going to make it to the promised land, the new world, they have several key obstacles. First and foremost, it has to get past your first line of defense, which is your mouth. And it has its own microbiome, fun fact, and that sole purpose is keeping out outsiders. And if you make it past your mouth, that's a literal out of the frying pan into the fire type situation, because your stomach acid is even meaner than your mouth bacteria.
Honestly, I just don't like this whole portion of the topic.
You didn't like where I took it?
No, it's fine. Tongue punch fart box, that's just a little bit too much for me, but keep going.
We have a podcast
I
about
wanna learn.
taboos. So if off chance that gut bacteria that you picked up from your lover, or let's be real, dating app hookup, if that doesn't drown fording the saliva river, die of dysentery on the hard open plains of your stomach, and they make it all the way to organ, aka your gut, they may find all of the 160-acre tract spoken for. You're not taking in a bunch, right? Let's be honest. Ideally.
Can't be
you're
too
not
much,
taking,
yeah.
Yeah. So you just got one or two who make it to the end of the trail, and they can't compete with the already vast metropolis of what's going on in your gut.
It's a David versus Goliath situation.
Yep, and they're weary travelers at that point. Weary. And while the odds are that you get zero benefits, sorry, I really wanted it to be true. I really wanted it to be. I wanted to blow the weight loss world off its axis, but that's neither here nor there. So there's very few benefits, according to a doctor, and then also a post on Reddit, microbiology or gut biology or something. I don't know. I wasn't the first person to have this thought, so there's not a lot of benefit, but there are some risks, because those bacteria, they may decide halfway down the trail that this is close enough. I mean, hello, we are podcasting from Missouri, which is where the quitters of the Oregon Trail started, right? They're just like, it's the beginning. I don't even want to do it. That's a long way to walk. I think I'll just live
Independence, Missouri. Here we go.
It's the promised land, according to the Mormons. So hell yeah. Promise that I was not going to walk my ass across a continent. So you might find some bacteria who are like that, and they will take up residence in any open wound or anywhere that's yummy enough for them. And then in which case you can get a nice nasty infection.
So any kind of ulcer or anything like that they're just going to stop where they can and nom, 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 and
Yeah,
cause
you're
some
going to
big
be
fucking
septic.
problems.
Yeah,
Yep.
unfortunately. Got to watch out.
I'm not going to be surprised that ass-to-mouth sexual acts aren't a medical cure, but if you do think that analingus is going to cure your medical ills, I also want to let you know that I do tasteful nudes in my creepy basement room. I'm just saying, if you thought that this would actually work, you're fucking dumb. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
Sorry.
shots fired.
Sorry,
Because
Rachel.
if we're going out on a limb, if I can blast my skinny husband's poo inside of me and then be cured, then why not? Sky's the limit.
Why wouldn't you do it the other way, the more direct route, the up the bum route?
Well, because one seems, according to the internet, a lot more enjoyable. And you might have somebody who's more willing to do that than to
That's
poop
fair.
into a
Okay.
cup and then
All right.
blend it.
All right. Got it.
So, unfortunately, you are better off with an over-the-counter enema kit and a ruined blender.
Pro tip, don't use a Ninja, guys. Those are really fucking expensive. So just go with get one off Facebook Marketplace.
Yep, who knows already what's been in there. You might pick up more bacteria than you bargained for.
Yeah.
So there you go. Your gut may unlock the secrets to a trim figure, but you are better off getting there by tossing salads in the kitchen and not the bedroom. And by that, I mean nurturing your gut flora through fibrous foods and foods that carry a lot of probiotics, like pickles and things. Beets. I don't know. What else you pickle?
Whatever. This isn't a fucking diet podcast. This is a podcast about
It is
poop.
now. It's about eating ass and getting skinny. So that's where we're leaving it today. We're keeping it fit and trim, unlike our figures. So have you or anyone you've known had a fecal transplant, or are you looking to be a donor? Text us at 1-800, look in the show notes and click the button.
Or let us know what you think about the show. Use the text thing in the show notes. Email us at rude@impolitesocietypodcast.com. Look us up on any of the socials. You got a platform, we're there. We don't post a ton, but we post a little and we check our messages. So send us something.
Let us get back to our hot podcaster summers. See you next time for our summer shorts. And until then, stay curious and never stop marching to the beat of your own drum. Bum.
Your own booty drum.
Yeah. May your gut flora be prosperous and not ask you to eat too much sugar today.
Help me! I need sugar!